pictures. It's a lot of it. Hi.
Well, after the training that we had a year ago, we mentioned that yes, we always think of emergencies in terms of our guests. What would happen that we would need to activate one of our emergency plans? But we got to talking about what happens if something like that goes down.
Right.
We think of ourselves as eternal, but now you know where it is. Anybody else who's out here, different off-roading groups do exist. It is a way to find help. If you belong to any of these clubs, you've got to climb to the top of the walls to possibly get a signal, and that's how you can SOS out.
Okay.
There's also only one tow company that will come out here and retrieve your vehicle, and the bill is $1,000 out the door, and then on top of that, whatever else they might need to do for your vehicle.
Do you care?
It's this trail.
Okay.
My coworker that was there before we left, she's doing the paved roads, and then the Jeep that was there is doing San Andreas. So then all three of us were going in completely different routes. But if you're doing the off-roading tour of Joshua Tree, then it's the same trail.
Yeah.
Divots. So now it's like super easy.
Oh, it used to be worse?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. Oh, this was the one where the most amount of cars would get stuck. Now, I don't even think I've got to go into four-wheel drive. It's just very carefully skirting around these rocks. Now, what happens over time is the sand gets really soft. And as vehicles get stuck and they spin their tires, it's also what makes it much more challenging. So the trail does have 3 obstacles. This one called the Big Squeeze. The next one that we'll go through is called the Landslide. And then we've got the Waterfall, my personal favorite. So once we conquer those 3, we've already hit all the tighter spots on the trail. The rocks as well. Water that's moving fast is going to carry a lot of power, and it's very powerful. Water that is moving slower and may not carry rocks that are as big as some of these that we see out here. And you'll see on the canyon walls on either side, you get the strata, the layers. They show you every single flood that has come through here. Again, slower moving water is going to be a thinner layer. Faster moving water is going to be a wider band or bigger rocks. And they pancake on top of each other, sort of like pages of a book. Older floods are on the bottom, newer ones are on the top. And in turn, you can see how there's continuously water that's going to drag its way through the canyon, making it deeper. 80, 100 feet. It'll get it to break enough that it germinates. So let's say you guys are out exploring, you're in the desert, you're camping or just spending time out here, and it begins to thunder overhead, and you see smoke trees like these. The trees are telling you that it probably is a better idea to go to higher ground. I have seen dirt bikes and ATVs and quads, that's a good thing, come through this lower part. Is that we get to see the 2 very distinctive and the 2 very different deserts that make up the park. So we're still coming through low desert. The low desert is a part of the Sonoran. We're a subdivision of the Sonoran Desert, making us the Colorado Desert or the Colorado Sonoran. And then we're climbing, right? You guys probably don't feel it. Usually as we gain elevation, it's not as noticeable. But the higher we go, it will eventually reach high desert, which is 2,000 feet and above. In this case, it's going to be the Mojave and where the Joshua trees live. It's the only place in the world where you find them. So whenever you do spot a Joshua tree, you know for sure exactly where you are on the desert.
What does it look like?
The Joshua trees?
Yeah.
They look to me sort of quirky, funky, spiky, Dr. Susie trees.
I would agree.
They're very cool. For a lot of people, they are more of a spiritual type of being.
Oh, yeah.
We'll just see what kind of reaction you guys have. Whether you're an artist and you want inspiration, or you're a musician or a writer, also people that just want to lose themselves for a moment in time and just have that contact with nature. So we'll find that there are also retreats up in this part of the desert because of that reason. A true night sky, a true dark night sky. There's no light pollution whatsoever. And you notice it because as soon as the sun sets, you lose all of the light. It's a little more difficult to navigate the roads, but that would be the reason why. Because as we go higher, the sediments are not going to stop here. They're going to be deposited further down. And then you also can see the core of this mountain, which is granite, and you'll see different colorations in the rock. You're going to begin to see, like if you look over here to your left, you got some light pinks. If you look over to cousin supports, if you want to be common. We're not going to see the giant saguaros like we have in Arizona because our desert is just a little bit too dry for that kind of giant. But if you guys look over here to the left, for example, pretty much just above the road is a silver cholla. And then higher up into the rocks is a teddy bear. And when I see some on the right side, I'll point them out as well for you guys. But the chollas, they are the most common established roots. And you've got to meet plants. It's the only way that they reproduce. In a way that also makes it pretty dangerous. They're going to be burrowing. They just protect themselves from this colder climate that doesn't necessarily favor them. So things like our rattlesnakes, there's different varieties of lizards, and then our desert tortoise, they're going to be hiding out. It's definitely a way that allows them to survive. It's just a little bit too cold for them. So they go into this state of estivation, which is kind of like hibernation. Kind of the same thing. You know, they bring their heart rate down to almost nothing. Their breathing slows down. They don't require any intake of food. And that's how they just ride out the colder weeks of winter. Then a number of different birds that visit the high desert, because now there's more activity with bugs and insects and butterflies, and everyone's just having a feast. The tree needs cold temperatures, freezing temperatures that allow for it to flower. And then when it flowers, it has an exclusive pollinator. The pronuba or yucca moth is the only insect that pollinates this particular flower. And then in turn, pollination allows it to begin to branch. So like I said, there's all these different elements that need to come together in just a perfect harmony to allow the trees to grow and evolve. So they pollinate the flowers, which in turn produces seeds for more viable trees. And in turn, the moths would not exist without the tree itself, because their food source, their only food source, would be the seeds from the trees.
think of this guy?
Not a lot of speed.
No, there's actually. You sounded very convincing.
You did. I'm very naive.
You gotta say it again.
Sounds like we're climbing. I'm buying into everything.
We're climbing on top of the fault.
See how I cannot complain about my